Hey everybody, it's the Mad Master here. I'm doing a new video today, and this is going to be a very controversial announcement for me, but just bear with me here because in my opinion, this is we're at the precipice of something different in our society and reality, and I have mixed feelings about it, but I'm just going to put it this way. So I did a video earlier this year about my experiences with artificial intelligence graphics apps, and I said I was pretty spooked by them and stuff. And you know, the thing is, I do still feel like that was a really weird experience. Now, the thing is that I have missed out or been late to a lot of technological boats. I missed a lot of technological boats over the years. You know, cryptocurrency, one of them. I do hold some crypto, but there were people I was associated with in 2010 that were talking about Bitcoin. Oh, you should buy some Bitcoin. It's like, even at the price of 1 Bitcoin is now, if I would have bought like 10 Bitcoin, you know, or something back then, Billy, you know, I'd be kind of rich at this point if I still held it. So I don't want to miss out on that boat. Now, a while before that, I kind of missed out on the internet boat. I wasn't late to the internet. You know, we had it in high school and stuff, a little bit. But, you know, I didn't have like, you know, I had like, I was early on BBSs, which I'm going to do a whole series or video about one day. I wasn't late to that, and that was kind of the proto-internet, but I didn't really get like the internet other than dial-up until like 2001 or 2 or something. And I wasn't coding, trying to learn to code or anything back then. So I regret some of these things because I think I was actually raised with some technology from one of my relatives was really into computers early on, which is kind of amazing in a way. And so I got exposed to, you know, computers, not at the ages a lot of people do, but, you know, pretty early age. I mean, he had antiquated stuff that he would kind of give me hand-me-downs of, which by the time that I got them were very out of date. But at the same time, the point remains is that I was very much lucky to, you know, I heard the phrase LOL in 1993 rather than 2003, you know, the first time, because I was a kid on the BBSs and stuff. So I was lucky in that area, but I didn't really jump on the bandwagon of a lot of other things. So recently, I've gotten acquainted with these some of these AI chatbots. One of them is ChatGPT, and I can say that their customer service is horrible. I got locked out with my password and everything. I can't get back in. It's been like a week since I put in the ticket. I don't know if just the demand is so high. I tried to get on Truth Social too, like back and they never even responded. So sometimes I'm unlucky with these things. It's kind of funny that I was trying to get on there, but so this whole thing like kind of frustrated me. I'm just like, well, now there's this Microsoft Bing thing, this AI, and it pretty much is a lot of the same thing. So I'm registered for that. I have it running on one of my computers, the computer in my bedroom, and I'm going to say that, you know, technology is scary when it comes out, but with human creativity and human will and keeping perspective of what humanity is, I think that I recently actually watched a lot of Six Hexenhammer material about AI, what he talks about. More realistic, less, let's say, Antichrist view of it, you know. And I think I agree with him. And I want to be an early adopter of AI. And you're not going to eliminate certain things, like Sagar and Jetty was talking about at Breaking Points. It's like, or was it someone else that was a guest on there? And he's like, well, you know, people, I'm using this as an example, and I do not give a fuck about Taylor Swift, but like people like her story, and that's why they like her as a celebrity. Those human things are very hard to eliminate. So this AI music, a lot of it, half of it isn't even AI. So that's already out there. There's people playing riffs, there's people singing, but they sing through this thing that makes them sound like someone else. A lot of the time, it has nothing to do with AI. It's just enhanced by AI. Not AI. Now, one day it'll probably be able to make the full music. I don't know. Probably. Does it matter? People are going to be playing live. You know, people like the live experience, live shows. That's what survives. I remember when Steve Harris came out from Iron Maiden, obviously. And he was asked about downloading, you know, pirating music. He's like, or bloody live band anyways, I don't really care. People buy, and people still buy Iron Maiden albums. The vinyl's hot, you know, the merch, I hate the word merch, but merchandise is hot. You know, all that stuff is still popular. You know, people don't buy CDs as much. People don't buy the records as much, but they still sell. There's people that collect them, you know. It's never going to die out fully. So I see AI as just this other thing. If the trolls or the regular people, if it enhances their lives, like I know some people that are using it for their jobs, like they won't tell their employer and stuff. It's pretty funny. If it enhances people's lives, and I don't see a problem with it. Now, the real threat, in a way, this is a libertarian argument, but I'm just going to say, let's postulate this for a second. The real threat might very well be big corporations, the elites, you know, using it to suppress speech, to suppress creativity and human freedom. That's the real threat. So those early adopters have an advantage because that's what usually happens with technology. You know, I remember the BBS days, there were telephone phreakers, P-H-R-E-A-K-E-R-S, you know, these really weird people that were associated with the online space, doing a lot of legal weird stuff, you know. So this early AI thing presents an opportunity for more expression, more freedom. And I'm not saying that it's not, it's a double-edged sword. There's Pandora's box. Obviously, there's a lot of messed up things that could happen as a result of it. But I want to choose, we all influence our own reality. We have to choose it for ourselves. We have to use the tools to what we think is to our advantage. And I see it as an opportunity. I see it as a way. So, for example, I did not know. So I'm taking like 4 classes on AI, like how to develop websites and stuff with it. I did not know that it could code by itself. You can type in pieces of code, design apps, do all sorts of stuff, automate stuff. And there's, you know, there's some bad things about that, but, and the art thing, you know, I don't know. It's all duplicating already existing art styles. I mean, it's, you know, there's going to be pushback and there's going to be regulation down the road probably too. I expect that. But before that period comes, jump on board. I'd say jump on board as much as you can if you have a use for it, which I do. I have a friend that helped, you know, redesigned his website using a lot of this stuff. And it's like, why, you know, what is the term? Punch a gift horse in the mouth, whatever. Now, I like the cyberpunk. Like I've talked about this before. The concept of cyberpunk is not dystopian. The concept of 1984 Brave New World is, but cyberpunk itself is there's the masses that have adopted this technology for their own use, and then there's the mega corporations, and that's going to be a balancing act going forward. So it's more predictive and realistic to think that cyberpunk is reality rather than 1984 or Brave New World. Some of these dystopian realities that people talk about, the cyberpunk thing is more realistic at this juncture of becoming reality. Now, there is one exception to the new technological advances that I will not budge ever on. And I've had other people say this too. And of course, I've talked about this before. And that's central bank digital currency, of course. I will never sign on to that. I don't care how bad the economy gets. They'll try to, who knows what they're going to try to do, or whatever they're going to try to do with the banks and stuff in the next couple months. They're going to try to do that. I'm going to resist. I will resist. I do not see that as the way forward. Now, if there's other people resisting, I might have to join them. I might have to go somewhere else. I might have to move. Blue states will probably adopt it first, just to be honest. I can imagine moving to some red state where there's all sorts of stupid fundamentalist theocratic Christian laws and stuff, or about porn or vibrators or some shit and drugs or whatever, but they resist the CBDC because that's the number of the beast, which it is. I mean, let's just face it. Like, if the Bible is true, the CBDC, if it gets like ingrained in your hand and your forehead, is the fucking number of the beast. So it's not beat around the bush. Pun unintended. I'm wearing an Iron Maiden shirt, but I mean, I don't believe in that, but it seems like it is. Like, that would be the way for evil to flourish. CBDC, the number of the beast. Wait, 666, the number of the beast. 666, the number of CBDC is CBDC. So I don't know. So that's one thing. That's one technological advance that I will resist as much as I can, if I can. I don't know how realistic it is. They'll try the Fed Now thing. There'll be maybe an economic crash. Fed Now will become a thing, and unemployment. You'll have to use it, and then people will adopt it. But people may resist it too. I remember the 2008 crash. People made their own currencies. That's when the Bitcoin thing became a thing, sort of around that time, And then there was even a local currency here. People were into decentralization. Of course, centralization is worse. I don't think communism or fascism or capitalism are necessarily worse than the other. In some ways, it's the centralization. And no, I'm not saying, I don't mean that. I mean, like, the centralization is what makes corruption worse in reality. Decentralization is the best. I mean, I still believe in a safety net and stuff. I'm still like Northern Europe. I still like a lot of those ideas and stuff. It's not gonna go away because I've studied it way too much. It works better in a small country, a more homogenous country, I guess. For all you racists out there, I guess it works better because there's no Stefan Molyneux's bullshit or whatever. But anyways, I hope this video actually gets posted. I don't know. I'm pushing a little bit. So anyways, I'm going to adopt AI as much as I can to do things, to do creative things, to do tasks, to do creative things, to explore things, to do, to create and, create funny things, create fun things, create apps like I want to do. There's been this project in the works that I've had for 5 years now with a friend, and there's been a lot of misfires and missteps, but I think this is the way for us to finish it. I am learning how to code a little bit. I want to learn enough code to get by with at least like troubleshooting some of that when the AI does the code, or vice versa, or whatever. So I don't think AI is evil in the way that people think. It's whatever the person puts into it too, I mean, it's a reflection of what the collective unconscious is. I actually do believe that, because there was this AI art once. It showed this picture that just looked exactly like what I was envisioning. It was really weird. I think it was Frankenstein playing basketball, because there was this role-playing game where I played one of my relatives in a different time. Anyways, there was this Frankenstein playing basketball. I typed it into an AI generator. It was a book that the guy wrote in the role-playing game, my character. and each boy joins a basketball team. It looked exactly like my image in my head. So I think it's conscious, it's your unconscious. I think spirituality, all right, this is, okay, I'm trying to articulate this in the best way. I think your spirituality, your belief system, what you believe is projected upon the world. It's this old school Neville Goddard or whatever. So if you believe that AI is out to get us, it's going to kill us all, that's closer to your reality. That's going to happen. But if you think that, hey, there's some risks, there's some bad things about it, it's Pandora's box, Pandora's twat, I don't know. So I had this friend, she did something, never mind, it's a long story, but it was one of her names on MySpace or something. Anyways, that's what I think about AI. I think it could be used for good, it could be used for ill. You know, just like nuclear energy, just like the internet, just like the wheel, just like anything. You can roll, you could tie someone to a wheel and roll them, or you can drive a you can ride a bicycle. It's a tool. Scary tool sometimes. And it's something that I've chosen to use for going forward. I want to be, you know, I've talked about being self-employed for so long. I've talked about, and I don't know with the economy, how it's going, if that's going to become a reality or not. I don't know. I've talked about self-employment. I've talked about projects that I wanted to do. Talked about ideas I wanted to develop. You know, I'm even writing short stories, you know. What am I going to do? I'm not going to have the AI generate it, but maybe I can have it edited. My short story about kidnapping the previous, or my short story, fictional short story about kidnapping a CEO of a company and having him work in a cobalt mine of a certain company. So, and there's some other stories I'm writing too. But anyways, that's about all. Peace out.